And that is the sound of the first beer of the weekend being opened. It is Friday. We are the Five Side Podcast, and we're a day late coming to you, as we did not realise when we said on Monday we'd be here on Thursday that the Rangers game was on Thursday night and would delay us. So it's Friday afternoon. I'm joined by Ross Dewar,
Hello, everyone.
Billy Kirkpatrick,
Good afternoon.
Craig Gregor,
Hello.
and Matthew Thompson. A quiet midweek. for yeah, we'll call it quiet in terms of game volume. So we had 2 championship fixtures midweek, none in the Premiership, and 1 European tie for Rangers. We've managed to get highlights for 1 championship game and the Rangers game, obviously. So another championship game, it was Dundee 1, Ayr 3. Craig's ecstatic about that.
We're back. That's us. We're back. Championship playoffs. Here we come. No stopping us now.
No stopping Ayr now. That's them going for it. A fantastic result, and you know, after people saying that they couldn't score goals in the last podcast, they scored 3 goals.
Would not be me.
I wonder which idiot said that.
I think it was Matt, but
Tell you what, right dafties. That's what they
absolute dafties. The only highlight I've seen from it is Mackenzie's second goal. I think it was, which is an absolute peach.
Yeah.
The touch inside to lose a defender and the finish is just tidy, but nothing.
Bang.
I've seen fuck all else from the rest of that game. So,
Well, that goal.
I've got to say,
Craig watched, I think.
You did watch it, but before Craig gives us an in-depth summary, that goal was my goal of the week.
Thank
there
you.
we go. The viewers were buzzing to hear what your goal would be.
Fucking listeners!
Well, if you watch YouTube, they're viewing it. So if you're watching on YouTube,
Well, they're not because they don't see us.
Oh my god!
I'll get it right one of these days. Today was not that day.
I've got to say, Ayr did. They played quite well. I was quite impressed with them. Obviously, there was a bit of sarcasm at the start. I'm not getting too carried away. I still think we are in a big relegation scrap right now. And any points we pick up are key to get out of this. But yeah, I was really impressed with Mackenzie. Actually, it's good for him to get his first 2 goals for Ayr. His first 2 professional goals in general. So, good for him to get up and going, and that's what Ayr need. Someone who can find the back.
Hopefully, it continues on. Hopefully, it kicks on. Because you know that could be his first of many for Ayr, or it could be just 2 goals that he scored, and that's it. But we'll see. We'll move on, and we'll see. Good win for Ayr. Dundee are slowly struggling here. Maybe some opportunity for other teams to catch those other promotion places. And
well, you can see why Dundee wanted the game called off so many times. They were scared.
That's
what it was.
They had to play it. They had to play it on Tuesday, and they did lose it. So, yeah, we'll see how it pans out in the future for Ayr. But it's a good big 3 points. The other game was Wraith 0, Inverness 1. It started only 11 minutes in. There was as we were all seeing it, I think a bit of controversy. Billy's shaking his head. I don't know whether he's disagreeing with me or disagreeing with the decision of the red card for Davidson.
Well, for me, out of all the incidents that's happened in the midweek games, this is the clearest red card out of everything. you will not see a clearer red card in any of the games. It was borderline assault, an elbow to the head.
I'll have what you're having.
Barbaric.
I'm sorry. You see, you
decapitated him with one of them elbows.
I know.
You see that in every game, every week. A player jumping up behind another player. They put their elbow on the back, like their back or on their neck, like their forearm in that way, and it's usually either nothing, not nothing, but like a warning or a yellow card. But I've never seen a straight red card given for it like that.
I mean, I'd be amazed if if they don't appeal it. I'd be amazed if they don't appeal it. I would be appealing that instantly, because it's a yellow card every single day of the week. It did lead to an exciting mass confrontation, which was fun. That was what the
Yeah.
was a plus point.
That's what I was going to say. That's the only point where I thought that the player's reaction after he got red carded was maybe would justify getting red carded the way that he reacts, and then he tries to go for other players and stuff, and the language is also not very good. Swearing at the ref like that, but the challenge itself, I was perplexed.
Yes, the same. I'm slightly confused, but hey ho.
I'm sure Matt would have a great opinion on that challenge. I bet he watched it. What did you think of the red card then?
Questionable, but in Scotland with Scottish refereeing,
Okay, yeah,
red card.
that sums it up. Scottish refereeing in Scotland, yeah. It took Inverness a while after this, to be honest, to break through and get a goal, but it was only just after half time that they did get the goal, and what a goal! How's this not your goal of the week, Bill?
Well, what's the goalie doing, Ferg?
Well, what is the goal of Dane? But
That was
the
horrendous.
composure, the composure and the finish from Mackay is something else.
The keeper was at the edge of his box.
I don't know what
That
Jamie
doesn't-
McDonald was doing.
that doesn't-
I really don't
I
know.
don't know what the keeper's doing, but it doesn't. I'm not going to take away from a chipped finish like that.
I don't know if he's.
Jamie McDonald is not a very good
No.
goalkeeper. I've said this multiple times.
It was an interesting decision to come to the edge of the box and stand there like a star, just with his arms flaring out. I don't know.
Come, put the ball past me. He put it over him. It's a tidy wee finish, though. It's a good finish.
For a man who's had so much experience, it was just amateur goalkeeping, to say the least.
Well, he's an amateur goalkeeper.
It was amateur hour, you could say.
You could say that.
It wasn't hour. It was only 50 minutes played.
It was amateur, just under an hour.
Thank you. No, I liked the goal. Okay, the goalkeeper, yes, but you can't take away from a nice wee lobbed finish.
Yeah, big win for Inverness as well. They're also the same situation as there, where they're trying to pick up as many points right now to try and avoid a relegation fight. But
Yeah, you say relegation fight. It's just I think everyone in that league up.
I think it was Bill that said Inverness
Yes, he
were
did,
gonna
and
go
they've both picked up 3 points.
I did say that, and I do stand by my statement.
I thought he was going to say regrets his statement.
I think let's put midweek down to a fluke. Let's go with that. Fluke results.
sure,
Fluke, yeah.
Yep.
Nothing else really happened in that game, apart from the two. I think Inverness, after Wraith having a man sent off, were well worth their win, to be honest.
yeah, I'd agree with you. Yeah, it's always tough when you go down to 10 men so early as well. To be fair,
Yeah, it's a shame because I don't know if it was a red card, and who knows like what would have happened if the man wasn't sent off and what the game would have looked like. But we move on. These things happen in football, as they say, and that will take us nicely to talk about the big game of the week. Not just in terms of it being a big game, but it's throwing some right controversial shenanigans up in the air since the final whistle is blown. But it is the result in the Europa League for Rangers getting put out after a 2-0 defeat at home to Slavia Prague, just for all those that keep calling them Sparta Prague. Jura, I understand you're probably quite upset today, but can you just give us your thoughts on the game?
Well, to be honest with you, Ferg, I couldn't sleep last night knowing that I'd have to come and face you guys today.
Was your blood boiling? Were you sick?
No,
Sick to the core.
Slavia Prague played very well. You can see they are where they are for a reason. Extremely well organised. They held their shape very well. And in both games, they were the better team. Obviously, we've got a couple of incidents to talk about. The first,
Couple?
well, we could be here all night talking
No.
about them all. So,
Can we go in chronological order? Can we go the goal first?
we'll start with a goal where
Thank you.
it was a really nice header. Patterson gets brought in.
Descriptive as ever.
Well, Patterson gets brought in. Arfield should have ran out to cover the man. Was a bit slow and a cracking header, which McGregor gets his hands to but slips in the net.
I felt that from that, it was almost a goal was almost coming for Slavia in the opening sort of stages. They had a really dangerous ball put across the box a bit earlier on, put right into the 6-yard box. No one deals with it until it gets to Balogun, who puts it out back for a corner. I think he does.
Yep.
They were certainly threatening from the off, and wasn't great signs for Rangers' defence. And they did concede the first goal quite early on in the game.
They had a couple of chances after that for Rangers. They just never done much with it. Morelos had a chance that just went past the post, and Kent had also the chance in the first half that was saved. It wasn't a great shot, but the keeper had to work to push it past the post.
The Morelos' one was the one that he was quite far out.
Yeah, it was quite.
It's one of those ones where, he did all right with it. I would have just, if it's me, if I'm being critical, I'd say maybe another touch in and then hit it. But it's Morelos; he can score goals, so you wouldn't have been surprised if it went in.
Yeah, I guess that takes us to.
It does take us to your incident, yes.
The second half, where a ball for Rangers is played over the top, and Kamar Roof is 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper comes out, and Roof has been listening to Drew McIntyre and went for the complete karate kick to the head and almost decapitated him.
He's taking his face off. Poor goalkeeper's got no fucking face now.
I believe for those who haven't watched it and are squeamish, I wouldn't recommend watching it.
Nah, it's fine. I'm quite squeamish, and I watched it. I had a good time. Well, not a good time, but I had a good time watching it.
The goalkeeper has, hopefully I'll say this correctly, a sinal fracture, and is having to go into hospital when he comes back to Prague for surgery.
I mean, that laceration on his forehead's an absolute beast. The size of it.
What I don't perhaps understand is why Roof didn't go with his head. I felt like the obvious one would have been to try head it round him.
Can we also mention that Roof was only on the pitch for 6 minutes or whatever before he did this? So a good impact substitution from Steven Gerrard. It really made an impact on that goalkeeper.
There's the one thing I noticed. Yeah,
He took out the goalie.
Is I feel like the goalkeeper should have definitely been sent off for headbutting Roof's foot.
You know what?
It's not
disgusting behaviour from the goalkeeper. Can't be doing things like that in the modern game.
I'm gonna say this. See, from a goalkeeping point of view, I don't know why he didn't. I don't know why he had his hands at his side. Like if let's say Roof was to have headed him, headed over the top of him, made his hands down. I've never seen a goalie run out with his hands down before.
From my point of view, I think it looked to me like he was going for like the clearing header sort of goalkeeper instead of the catch and claim, because if he'd went for the catch and claim, then he would be at risk of taking Roof out and giving away a penalty.
He certainly
you don't want to do that.
He certainly headed something. It wasn't the ball, was it?
There was it? Yeah, there was another red card. Maybe about 10 minutes after this one, was it?
Give or take, yeah.
Yeah, and that was given to Balogun, who I said earlier I didn't. From the highlights, he looked like he had an absolute stinker of a game. Not a great performance from him.
There were such cynical fouls as well. Both of them, I don't know what Billy feels, but they were both yellow cards in my eyes.
And am I wrong in saying that it was him that could have potentially gave away a penalty, or was that someone else?
That was also him
Yeah,
as
he
well.
could have.
Yeah, that was one I kind of thought from. I didn't see a good angle or anything, but from the quick highlights that I watched,
This was the one in the one in the first half, the 45th minute one.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot to mention that.
No. I'll try and keep this brief because I could really, if I had the time and folk could bother listening, I could talk for about half an hour about the whole game. This was for me by far one of the worst performances I have ever seen from a match official in 90 minutes. Period. Absolute period. UEFA have tried to appoint someone who's not as experienced as the top level guys, and it's clearly paid off because this was a shambles of a performance. The players get more and more wound up, and indirectly the referee has caused the majority of these incidents. He's missed 3 yellow cards in the first half, which would have put a lid on the game and, would have said to the players, right, I'm not taking any of this, but let them get away with one, and another one, and another one. And then folk get more and more annoyed because folk were getting, let away with stuff. And it built up and built up. And the second half was as difficult as a half to referee as I've seen. It shouldn't have been. It shouldn't have been if you'd managed the first half. UEFA should have appointed a much more suitable candidate, a more experienced match official to deal with this game, given how close it was in the first leg and given how fairly hostile it'd been in the first leg. But apart from the 2 big decisions, the rest of the game was just awful to watch from a referee point of view. Just no wonder the players get more and more wound up. No wonder.
I kind of feel bad for the ref. It was a very difficult yep. Very difficult game to referee, I think.
It made it more
if
difficult.
I was the referee.
It made it more difficult, that's the thing.
Maybe, but there was a lot of fouls from both teams.
For me, a game of this hostility and tightness, it wasn't as if it was like Rangers come into the game a 3-0 lead or Slavid come into the game a 3-0 lead. It was would have been a fairly comfortable game. It was a close game. It really should, in all honesty, deserve one of the top guys to manage it better. But I mean, I probably tallied down. I had about 12 yellow cards tallied down from watching the extensive highlights and the 2 reds. That was me.
I mean, in particular in the first half, Kent got fouled, I think they reckon about 8 or 9 times just himself. It was just...
Why was he fouling himself? That's a bit silly.
It was just fouls galore from both teams, it must be said.
So the foul, and I think it was tackling the 7th minute for me. The one that's an absolute nailed on yellow card. The one in Kent, he's just wiped out. There's
nothing from it.
It's okay. It's early in the game, but I'm sorry. Doesn't matter if it's the first minute, the 91st minute. You've got to still give them for me. In the 26th minute, the key for me is the 26th minute. There's another foul on Kent again. Gerrard gets frustrated. 3 or 4 of the players gets frustrated, and I think that's the spark that just set the whole fuse off. To be quite honest, it just imploded from there, and it turned into a very violent game.
I think you've also got to look at the fact that the first goal was scored quite early on, so that it will have been playing on Rangers' mind, like we need to get a goal just to take this to extra time, sort of thing. Whereas maybe like if they'd held out for longer, it would have been like they would have been thinking we're the ones that are safe. It's Slavia that need to push out, and that can sometimes frustrate teams. We seem to have lost Craig.
Oh well.
But we'll move on. Balogun got sent off and gave away a free kick.
Yeah.
Which was subsequently scored from, although
I don't
know whether
it was committed.
I don't know. Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. I don't know whether I've missed something in the highlights or they've not put something in the highlights. Like, was there another foul in that play, or did the ref just stop the game like 30 seconds late?
To me, obviously Bill might have a different view, but it was about 15 yards further right.
Well, it was if you're looking at it from like the players, it was further to the left, so
Yeah.
goalkeeper's right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna slightly contradict myself here. I think mentally, I think mentally the referee's at that point he's exhausted. Mentally, he's exhausted. It's not right with the positioning of the free kick is, but I sympathise, but only because he's given himself, 3 times the amount of work he's had to do. Mentally, giving so many decisions, minute after minute after minute, you're bound to make a mistake eventually. You're only human. So
Thanks, Dragon Bone Man.
I sympathise with the positioning of the free kick, but it isn't right.
Credit where credit's due. It was a cracking free kick.
Oh, yeah.
It was a really nice free kick. Craig was saying, I'll pass on the message to everyone that he was questioning McGregor's position, but I don't think he can do much better from that. He stands. The wall's meant to cover one side, so he's meant to cover the other side at the start, and he moves across as soon as it's struck, and he just can't get to it. It's in the top bins. You can't usually save them.
It was a very good free kick. I think even if he was maybe a half a yard over, I still don't think he probably would have got it.
That sealed the tie, and sadly, we're gonna have to. Well, we won't discuss it too much because at the moment it's not really anything confirmed. But there was an alleged incident of racism during the game. That was nothing happened at the time, but it was after the game. Tempers were flared, we'll say.
Yeah, I think obviously racism, there is no place for it in the modern game. There's no place for it in society in general.
No place for it anywhere, yeah.
I said this last night, and I still stand by this. If the players were adamant and they were absolutely certain that a racist, term was used towards one of the players, and they have then instructed the referee, and the referee has done nothing, why haven't they walked off? Now, there's a lot of hypotheticals in there. If that has happened, so if the alleged incident has occurred, they have then informed the official, and the official, has done nothing as alleged. Why didn't they walk off? They're well within the right to do so.
I believe I've got somewhat of an answer to that. I know Steven Gerrard said in an interview that he spoke to Kamara and Goldson about leaving the pitch, and it was in the moment Kamara didn't want to leave the pitch, and Gerrard tried to get him back again to speak to him, but in the heat of the moment they just kept on playing, is what Steven Gerrard has commented on that issue.
Well, that's fair enough. It just seems a bit, they're well within
bizarre.
the right, within their, the UEFA No to Racism programme, they're well within the right to walk off the pitch if they feel the officials have done nothing to, assist that.
Yeah, so after the game that's then come out, there's been allegations by the Slavia. He's not the manager. He's like what?
Some team
was
official.
it? The chairman or the manager or someone?
The chairman who came out with.
The chairman has made allegations that the player in question that allegedly made the racist remark has since been assaulted, is what they've said.
Bloodied, apparently.
Yeah, hit with fists, I think, is the translation. In the tunnel after the game, and they could not leave the stadium, and the police were supposedly called, but since that, the police have come out and said that the police were never called to any incidents yesterday, although they would be open to investigating anything if either club wanted it to be. Mental scenes. And we didn't even see it, like most of it, but just
it's not what we want to see.
It's never anything you want to see.
Ultimately speaking, Slavia Prague played better than Rangers, and they deserve to go through.
Mm-hmm.
These scenes afterwards are
it leaves a sour taste.
Yeah, Bill said it better than I probably would have.
I think one thing to note, though, I was speaking to someone who was quite
Was
rather
it Steve
knowledgeable.
again?
It wasn't Steve. No, it was someone who's rather knowledgeable in the European football scene, a lot more than myself. And what he said to me is that the alleged incidents that occurred after the game have been reported to the UEFA delegate, and will form part of a wider UEFA match report into the alleged incidents that occurred in this game. So it will be interesting to see what the outcome of that is. I know recently, before Christmas we had the incident in the Paris Saint-Germain Istanbul Başakşehir game, which took 3 months to investigate. So I don't think we'll hear anything for a little while about it, but probably in a couple of weeks or a couple of months there'll be a summarised report of what actually did happen.
Just for our listeners, Bill, if he was to have said something racist, what is the procedure? Is it a match ban? Is it a fine? Is it both?
It depends on. There's a lot of variables to go into that. There's not a right or wrong answer here. It's at the discretion of the UEFA Disciplinary and Ethics Committee. So to put it into hindsight, the two match officials that were convicted of saying a racist term in the PSG game were given a suspended ban and had to go on an education course.
So,
along with a €10,000 fine. So I'm not overly convinced what the punishment will be.
can I just say that he should never play football again? If it's true, anyone that does anything like that should never be allowed to play football again professionally, because they should be taken out and shot.
So I think now this is slightly more. This is so the player in question that's alleged to have said the racist thing, is Romanian, and the Romanian word for the colour black is similar to what we would say is a racial term. So this is where it falls into the education piece. When the Romanian officials in the PSG game used the term, their Romanian word for black, yes, to us that's racist, but to them that's them just saying, the black person, so to speak.
Yeah,
So I think it depends how it's been worded and what's actually been said.
they certainly need to think of a new word for that, to be honest. And again, I don't think it's right to be just going like
no,
I
you're
agree. Black, or he's black, or the black one.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that was the education piece that came from the PSG game. That's why they're on an education course, is because they used the term to quote it, the black one,
yes.
Which if you hear it in the Romanian tongue, it to us would seem incredibly racist.
Yeah, and we will not repeat that.
No.
I don't want to.
I think that point has to be brought in just in the interest of impartiality for both sides.
I don't want to chat about this anymore, to be honest.
No.
Just because we're all sitting here and we could all talk about this for genuinely hours, but we don't want to get bogged down. When something else is released about it, we will discuss it, because it's quite important. But now that we've talked about all the games, we can look at the predictions and talk about how terrible everyone did. Well done to Matt and Jur. You got 0 points.
What a week.
Billy and Craig picked themselves up 2 points.
I'm back, baby. I'm back.
And
I was on track for all 5 until I fucked it.
I completely forgot. Completely forgot what I predicted, but I did get 5 points after predicting 1-0 Inverness. Get it up, yous. I was the only one that predicted an Inverness win, so up yous all. If we look at the leaderboard, not really much change. I've gone ahead of Dewar again. Craig's still
Oops, sorry.
Craig's still
I was
stuck
just
to the bottom.
fans booing.
And
Billy also went ahead of you.
so did Billy. Yeah.
Yes.
Me and Billy are tied on 60 points, and Matt is still
How
23
many am I?
points ahead.
59.
So.
Sorry, I can't access
Yeah.
the sheet.
So, without further, that is not the right one. Without further ado, we have the weekend. Not the weekend. No, we do not.
What a singer!
It is Friday. So there are games, and we need to give our predictions for them. So we're doing the predictions for Premiership and Championship. Of course, this weekend sees the return of the Scottish League One and League Two football. Welcome back. We will try and cover as much as we can on our weekly podcast and midweek podcasts, but it could be difficult, considering it's quite tricky to get your hands on some highlights. So we'll see. We'll see what we get on with. For the moment, we'll leave them out predictions because we could literally sit for hours doing 42 teams worth of predictions. So, Craig, Dundee United, Aberdeen.
I'm going to go for 2-0 to Dundee United.
Billy. Every fucking week now.
The Boarfest. Zoo, 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 zoo. 0-0.
What the fuck was that?
I was trying to say zid, but I couldn't say zzz. I said zoo.
Forgot
Sure.
we're playing with Barry Benson. Doing the podcast with Barry Benson. I also think it'll be 0-0.
Matt.
Uh, 1-0 Aberdeen. They're good, they're back.
Oh, fuck me. It's going to be such a shit game, isn't it? You know what? One each. I think we're in for 2 goals. Hamilton v St Mirren's the next game.
I'm going to go for 2-0 to Hamilton.
Bill.
Point shared, 1 apiece.
Do you like always picking draws?
Yes.
I'm going to say 2-1 to Hamilton.
Matt.
I'm gonna side with Billy and say 1 each.
I'm going to give you.
think.
Not that. I'm going to give you 1-0 St Mirren. Kilmarnock, Motherwell.
3-0 Motherwell.
2-0 Motherwell.
I'm gonna surprise some people here, and I'm gonna go bold. 1-0 Kilmarnock.
It's different between bold and wrong.
Well, I'm needing the points. I'm third.
Well, I'm gonna go even bolder. 2-0 Kilmarnock.
I'm just gonna put it out there and go for 0-0. It's gonna be shit. Livingston, Hibs.
1-0 Livingston.
Well, might come to surprise a lot of the listeners. I'll go for a score draw, 1 each.
Tell you what, that shocked me to my very core. I'm gonna say Hibs will win 3-0.
And I think Hibs will win 2-1.
Likewise. St Johnstone, Ross County.
I'm going to go for 2-0 St Johnstone.
Let me guess, score draw.
I'm going to go 1-1.
Tell you what, I don't know how you come up with these. You're a genius. I'm gonna say St Johnstone 1, Ross County 0.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. 1-0, St Johnson.
Could be a close one. St Johnson are in good form. 2-1 St Johnson. And the big game that is the least big game out of all of these games is Celtic Rangers Craig.
This is a tough one. I'm going to go with 2-0, 2-1 to Rangers.
I'm going to go for...
Score draw.
No, I'm not going to go for the score draw. I'm going to go for a victory this time. And I think I'm gonna. I don't know where this has come from, but I'm gonna go 2-1 Celtic.
It's certainly an interesting one with Nathan Patterson out, Ryan Jack out, and guys who will be playing. I think Rangers may struggle down the wings, but I would like to think we've got the quality to beat them. I would say 1-0 Rangers.
And I'm going to, as much as I would really like to see Celtic get a win, I'm going to go for the old Billy Kirkpatrick, 1 each.
I don't know, like, bollocks. I've been dreading this one coming.
Lol.
It's that way, like, I don't want Rangers to win, but I don't. Like, it's one of those ones where I'm just really worried that if Celtic win, then it puts John Kennedy's name like higher up some form of list for getting the permanent position, and I just don't want that to happen. I think we're gonna get a shock though. I'm gonna agree with Billy. We're gonna get a shock, and I think it's gonna be 2-0 to Celtic. Championship, Alloa, Dundee.
I'm going to go 1-0 Alloa.
Well, I am going to go for 2-1 Alloa.
Well, I'm going to turn into Bilal K and say score draw 1-0.
Nah, bounce back win for Dundee. 2-0.
Yeah. 1-0 Dundee. Arbroath Hearts. Put in 7-0 for everyone to Hearts.
2 each.
2 each, okay.
Well, for me,
Billy?
I think I'll have to go for my usual score draw 1-1.
Fucking hell,
I
he's
think
got so many
Hearts
1-1s.
are going to win 2-0. Will be my prediction.
Yeah, I think Hearts will win 3-1.
Yeah, I'm
3-1.
going to go 3-0 to Hearts. Ayr v Wraith. Oh God, sorry.
I'm going to go with 3-0 to Ayr.
Well, since we've started these predictions, I have yet to predict Ayr to win. And that will continue because I'm going to go for a score draw. I'm going to go 1-1.
I can't wait for Bill to get like maybe 8 points just out of score draws. I'm gonna say Wraith 2-1.
I'm gonna say Ayr 2-1.
Dunfermline, Inverness.
Going to go with 1 each.
Well, I'm going to go for what we call an exciting game, 2-2.
Did you call them Dunfermline or did I get that wrong?
No.
I don't know. I reckon Dunfermline are gonna win 1-0. Win 1.
They're gonna win 1-all.
They're gonna win 1-0. I meant to say.
They're gonna win 1-all.
I was laughing at Matt's face because it's all froze. Just froze like mid laugh.
I'll agree with you. I think they're going to win 1-all. So yeah, 1-all.
Yeah, I'm gonna go bold, and Inverness are
Oh,
gonna win
fuck me.
1-0. Morton, Queen of the South.
It's going to be a 0-0 draw.
Well, this might surprise some of the listeners, but I'm going to go for 4-2 to Queen of the South.
Well, apologies for those listening with earphones. I'm going to say Queen of the South win 2-0.
I'm going with an upset. 4-0 Morton.
I'm gonna give you 2-1 Morton. A Craig McGuffey brace, and that's us done. I think. Don't think there's anything else to mention. We'll be back on Monday evening again, discussing the weekend's games. Until then, hope everyone has a great weekend. Enjoy your Friday nights, lads. Would you like to say goodbye for us, Matt?
Yep, hope we all have a good weekend.
Craig?
Goodbye.
Billy?
May the ball roll kindly to all the teams this weekend. Goodbye.
Final word from you, Mr. Juror?
Again, thanks to anyone that's actually made it all the way through one of our podcasts. Hope you all have a good weekend.
And from me, it's been a pleasure to be here on this Friday afternoon. Have a fantastic weekend. We'll catch you next time. Goodbye, and God bless.